Welcome to my channel. Today we're diving into a topic that can save lives. Breast cancer is a serious issue, and as Black women, we often face unique challenges. Let's be real here. Sometimes our challenges are a little different than other nationalities and other races. That's why it's so important to know the symptoms that we should never ignore. Before we get started, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and you share this video with someone that you care about. You never know who life it could save. So let's get started. Top 10 breast cancer symptoms that no African American woman should ever ignore. Symptom number 1. The first symptom that no African American woman should ever ignore is a lump in the breast or under the arm. You know, sometimes we brush those off as thinking that it's something that came from the deodorant, or it's a cyst, or it came from shaving. First and foremost, not all lumps are cancerous. And not all cancerous lumps feel the same. Sometimes the lumps can be hard. Sometimes they can be painless. Sometimes it can even be tender under your armpits and you're not really understanding why, but you're just brushing it off as it's something that is normal and just something that you're used to going through. It's not normal. If you find a lump under your arm, if you find a lump in your breast under your arm, don't wait. Get it checked immediately. Don't wait. The longer that you wait, it's only making matters worse. The longer that you wait and you keep putting it off, you put yourself at a higher risk. The longer that you wait and you keep putting it off and putting yourself on the back burner, the more detrimental and more likely you are to be in later stages of breast cancer. Don't put it off. Sign is symptom number 2. If there's a change in the size of your breast. Now, we both know that your breasts are not naturally asymmetrical, which is perfectly fine. They're never going to be perfect. But sudden changes in your breast, I'm talking about if one side of your breast tissue is abnormally large, swollen, throbbing, painful, you're experiencing something as simple as the size and the shape has changed. You notice that when you're looking at yourself in the mirror in the bathroom, which, by the way, we as African American women don't take enough time and don't spend enough time looking and analyzing our whole unique bodies in the mirror. Spend that time, look at the mirror, look at your breasts, look at the differences in sizes. Are they that extreme? Did it go from 1 minute it was one size to a whole nother size the next time you looked in the mirror? This is something serious. If the sizes in your breasts change dramatically, it is time to call a doctor. The next symptom that you should never ignore as an African American woman, skin dimpling or the texture changes. When I say texture change, I mean like, you know, the consistency of what an orange peel looks like. If your skin starts to look like an orange peel, if it's puckered, if it is dimpled, if it's thickened, if your breasts start to look puckered or dimpled, it could be an indication of underlying issues that should not be ignored. Don't brush it off. Go to the doctors, set up your doctor's appointment immediately, get your mammograms. It is so important. Skin dimpling and texture changes are a clear telltale sign that something is brewing and that there is an underlying issue going on with your breast that needs to be addressed. Number 4, nipple discharge. Other than breast milk, your nipples should not be leaking. They shouldn't be leaking anything. Other than breast milk, your breasts should not be having discharge. It should not be leaking. There should not be signs of discoloration. There should not be signs of pus or any blood or any fluid, especially if it's clear and it's bloody. There are signs that something is off. If you didn't just have a baby, if for some strange reason you didn't just find out that you're pregnant, or you're later in your pregnancy and you start to develop milk ducts, there is no reason why your breast should be leaking any type of fluid. No fluid whatsoever. Not pus, not discharge, not anything bloody, that has an unusual color. Sometimes these situations can be non-cancer causing, but it's always best to get it checked just to rule out, to make sure that it's nothing serious. Get your breast checked, especially if you have any type of discharge or stuff leaking from your breast that is not breast milk. The fifth sign that something is going on with your breast and you need to get it checked out is your nipples go inverted. That's not normal. If your nipple suddenly pulls inward and it flattens, that is a red flag. This change is often subtle, but it should never be ignored. If your nipple suddenly pulls inward, that is a sign that there could be something going on with your breasts and you need to have them checked immediately. Number 6, the next symptom, redness or swelling of the breast. When you have breast cancer, you'll start to notice changes in your breast, often big, swollen, extremely tender. And I'm not talking about tender to the degree of, when you having your menstrual cycle and sometimes your breast can seem a little tender. No, I'm talking about redness, tenderness that never goes away. It's constantly swollen. You're in pain and it feels like no matter what you do, the pain just does not subside. Don't do what I did. First things first, do not do what I did. I put a heating pad on it and took Tylenol and ruled it out as if I had pulled a muscle or something. If you have redness, if your breasts are swollen, even if they warm, that is something that should not be ruled out. It could be something inflammatory that's going on within your breast and you need to have it checked out immediately by a doctor. Number 7, breast pain that don't go away. As I just mentioned a minute ago, pain that does not go away. Do not chuck it up as you pulled something, you pulled a muscle in your chest area. Do not brush it off as it's something as simple as, oh, well, maybe you was lifting something that you shouldn't have been lifting. No, if you have breast pain that does not go away, do not put a heating pad on it. Do not put a hot rag on it. Don't just brush it off and think that if you take some Tylenol or some Motrin or some Aleve that it's going to go away. Oh, it will go away. Maybe temporarily, maybe slightly, but each and every time it comes back and you ignore it, it gets harder and harder and the pain is more aggressive and more aggressive. I went through it, I experienced it. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Every time I put off calling a doctor, every time I put off that pain, oh yeah, it will go away for a little while. As a matter of fact, it will go away for months. But when it came back with a vengeance. I mean, that pain was so excruciating that it got to the point where I had no choice but to call the doctor. I was so afraid and so scared. I started to realize, okay, wait a minute, something is off, something is wrong. There is no way that this can be a pulled muscle. I finally got up the strength, the courage to really pay attention to my body and in my breasts and looked at my breast tissue and noticed that one side of my breast was ginormous and the other side was extremely small. It was so noticeable and it was so scary. But I had to do something. I knew that something was off, something was wrong, and I had to put my fear and my personal issues aside, and I had to call the doctor, and I had to deal with it. I had to deal with the outcome. I had to deal with whatever it came with. I had to deal with the possibility of me losing my life from procrastination. Don't procrastinate. If you have some pain that will not go away, do not put it off. Call your doctor immediately. Another 8 sign or symptom that it could be breast cancer. If you notice the veins in your breast becoming more prominent, if you notice that they're becoming more visible, especially on one side, this could be a sign of something unusual happening that's going on inside of your breast, and you always should err on the side of caution. Veins that are starting to pop up to where you can see them through the skin tissue is not normal, especially if you're not used to seeing them there. It could be a sign of something going on that's serious, that needs serious doctor's attention. Don't brush it off. Call your doctor. Number 9 symptom is a rash or itching that just will not quit. It won't go away. I don't care how much you think it's an allergy or a skin condition, but persistent rashes and itchiness could be a sign, especially around the nipple area. It could be a sign that it's breast cancer, so don't ignore it. Don't keep putting topical creams and taking antihistamines and taking all kinds of medication thinking that if you keep at it, it'll eventually go away. It's just a skin allergy. Sometimes that may be the case, but more than likely, if it's around the nipple area, it's not an allergy. Call your doctor immediately. The number 10 sign or symptom that you could have breast cancer is unexplained weight loss. If you experience an unexplained weight loss, like you know that you ain't changed your eating habits, you know that you haven't been exercising, you know for certain that something is off and something that is wrong. If you have constant fatigue along with other symptoms, I'm talking about losing the weight, you're extremely tired. I don't care how many vitamins that you pop. I don't care how many Red Bulls you drink. You're extremely fatigued. You're always tired. You're experiencing unexplained weight loss. It is time to see a doctor. These could be signs and symptoms of breast cancer that should never, ever be ignored. These signs and symptoms can indicate that something is going on beyond just being tired and stressed. It's not always stress. It's not always you just tired because you're tired. Ladies, knowing these symptoms and taking action could save your life. As Black women, we have higher mortality rates from breast cancer, often because it's caught too late. Stay informed. Listen to your body, and don't hesitate to seek medical attention. Don't run from the doctors. Don't be scared of the doctors. This could save your life. It could save someone that you know life. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Together, we can spread awareness and save lives. Namaste.